Hey, it's Jason. Thanks for joining me here at the Hardy Life Outdoors. This is my new YouTube channel, but I'm not new to YouTube. I've been around for over 3 years, have over 150 videos on YouTube, with a lot of them being pretty popular. I'm in the process of migrating things from my old channel to the new channel, so you're going to see a lot of that content come over here soon, as well as a lot of new content about all the things that I do outdoors. Check out the content. If you like it, please hit like, share the channel with your friends, and subscribe so that you know when new content comes out. I appreciate you stopping and hope you like the content. Thanks. I'll see you soon. We've talked a lot about the smaller tractors, and I just realized the other day we really haven't spent much time talking about the 4052R, and it's the tractor that I use the most. So I thought I would do a quick talk about it, what I think of it, and a little bit of advice as you're trying to think about what to buy. we can give you perspective on 3 different compact tractors from John Deere. And let me tell you, this tractor, I absolutely love it. I picked it up, I guess I picked it up in 2019, I think. So maybe, yeah, 2019. It was 2 years old. The guy I bought it from, it's a 2017 4052R. I picked it up with about 250 hours on it. And feel like I got a real good deal and have been happy with it ever since. If you've watched our buyer's guide, we talk about what tractor to buy, and we say, think about your use case. And I talk about what you gain by getting a bigger tractor. As you move up in tractor, the key things that you're getting, and these are the things that enable all kinds of functions, you to perform a bunch of functions and jobs. First, as you get bigger, you've obviously got more horsepower. That's just the way the models are. So 4052R has approximately 52 horsepower. You get a tractor that sits higher off the ground, so you've got more clearance. You're not going to get stuck in the mud. You got a lot more clearance. You also get a tractor that is heavier. With those things combined, it really changes the game for what you're able to do. This tractor weighs, let me look. I've got the exact number here. This tractor weighs in at about 3,770 pounds. So it's a good heavy tractor, and that enables it to do a number of things. That impacts how much weight you can lift, because part of your lift capacity is driven by the counterweight center of gravity of your tractor. So having a heavier tractor impacts that. It also impacts attachments you can run on the back. The horsepower also converts into your PTO power, and having greater horsepower and greater PTO power means that you can run larger attachments on this tractor than you can a smaller tractor. That was actually one of the key drivers for me when I decided to buy this. I was operating the 1025R, and it didn't have the power to brush hog the stuff that you're seeing behind the tractor right now. It would bog down. It just wasn't big enough. We've got a lot of areas that we try to maintain, and the 4052R, I can brush hog pretty much anything, and it just keeps chugging. So it really delivers the horsepower that you need. I apologize, I've got notes here so that I don't forget things. One of the first things to think about is, when you're looking at the tractors, deciding how much horsepower do I need, and do I want the R model versus the M model. When I compared them, and I didn't spend a lot of time comparing because I wasn't going to buy new, So I didn't feel like, you know, from a spec standpoint, I wasn't going in saying I want that one versus that one. I was looking for the best deal I could find on a used tractor. But compare the features between the R and the M to decide, you know, which one are you shopping for. What you will find with the R is it does have a lot more things in terms of comfort package. So it's got a floor that's got a rubber mat on it to reduce vibration. It's got a better seat. It's got a better light package. A number of things along those lines that may or may not be in the M package. I didn't look at it closely, but when you compare them, the core tractor seems to be pretty much the same, but there's some additional features on the R. So I've been real happy with the features and functions that I've got on the R. When I bought the tractor, it came with a number of things. These are things you'll want to think about. At this size tractor, I've not heard the argument for why you wouldn't want filled tires. On a smaller tractor, I hear people say, you know, they don't fill them because they don't want the extra weight in their yard. They don't want to tear up their yard. But on this tractor, you want to make sure that you've got that extra weight. I also would consider, do you want wheel spacers, and you want to potentially mount the wheels backwards so that you get a wider stance. It makes the tractor more stable, and you know, stability is always a good thing, especially if you're dealing with hills like we've got. So those are some things you can think about. This did come with filled tires. He did put spacers on it, and the wheels are mounted backwards. So he's done everything he could, the previous owner, to maximize the stability. Also had rear SCVs installed, so I'm able to, on that no-till drill, gives me extra hydraulics I can use to raise and lower it. Trying to think of other things that he put on this. I don't recall other features. It seemed to me he had a pretty good list. It might have been the attachments that he had. The forks, he had the bucket. I recommend both of those. We have not had anything, I say anything, there's one thing, two things that I could have lifted or wanted to lift that I haven't been able to. We've got some huge logs. They're just too big for the tractor. We also had some landscape block brought in, and they stacked these things. I'll snap a picture. I think they're stacked 6 high, and I'll have to check the weight. I'll put the weight in the notes here, but the tractor's just not big enough to move all that landscape block. But everything else that we've tried to move has moved really well with this tractor. I mentioned the PTO power, great for running the brush hog. If you're going to run a tiller, depending on what your ground is like, it's going to give you more power on that tiller. Any attachments you run, that additional PTO power is good, and I have had really good luck with this. Real happy with it. I think I've said real happy a number of times. Some downsides to this one potentially. There is no mid-mount mower, but honestly, I don't think you would want to try to use this tractor around your yard to do finish mowing or mid-mount mowing. If you were going to use a tractor of this size, you'd probably put a finish mower on the back, and you probably wouldn't have these tires. You'd have a turf tire on them versus an ag tire. So those are some things to consider when you're looking at this. You know, maybe if you're doing a golf course or running a sod farm, I'm not sure where all you would want to use this size tractor for finish mowing, but that's something to think about. I see a lot of people with a use case for their tractors of moving round bales, and whether they're moving them all the time or just periodically. One of the things I consistently see is people are trying to move round bales with undersized tractors. They want to get a round bale out of the back of a pickup truck with a 1025R, and they'll say, well, it's only this many pounds and it lifts, you know, it's only a 900-pound bale, and this thing's supposed to lift 1,200 pounds. Well, 1,200 pounds is not supposed to be lifted at this height by that. This tractor, if you're going to move round bales, will absolutely move round bales. We don't have a use for that. We don't do big square bales, anything along that. No hay bales, no animals on the farm. So we don't need that, but this tractor absolutely has the power to move those bales if that's on your list of things to do. When you think about your loader, make sure you get ballast, whether it's going to be attachments. I almost always have the brush hog on the back here, and I don't do a lot of loader work. When I do get the loader, when I do plan on using the loader or the forks, I will get out the ballast box and put it on the back to give me that ballast that I need. And that works real well. I've never found myself in a situation where I didn't feel comfortable with the loads I was handling.